The Tangent Egg podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Tangent Egg podcast. I'm Seth, and I am a little bit sick this week. I am going to do my best to edit around the coughing I may be doing this episode, but if I miss it, that's why.
Otherwise, in return, we get sultry voice.
I know, right? That pack-a-day smoker sound.
Lick Seth's here again.
God damn it, don't start with it.
I love the fact we managed to set off the coughing.
Anyway, I'm here, so swoosh. Yay!
Hi.
Alright, so this week we're starting out. We had Ubisoft do their big Ubisoft Forward event to talk about what they're working on in the coming year/next year. And the cliff notes on it are essentially, we're getting a mobile version of Assassin's Creed that no one asked for, set in China, a setting everyone's asked for.
Yeah.
We are actually getting, finally, the setting everyone thought they were gonna do first. Not first, second, because we had that first game, and then they had all this Asian iconography you can find on the wall. They are finally doing the Japanese one.
Nice.
But it's some nebulous time in the future. It's currently codenamed Assassin's Creed Red.
So it doesn't actually have a title yet. It's we're doing a thing, and eventually we'll get around to the thing. But here's plenty of other shit in a mobile game. Yay!
Now what they've done is they couldn't be bothered thinking of a name. They've gone the Pokemon route. Now they're doing additions.
Well, I mean, they're just code names. They're not official titles yet. Because the other one they announced was Assassin's Creed Hex, which we're thinking is going to be witch themed, but.
What?
Where would they put
Assassin's Creed Red could have just as easily been Assassin's Creed Land of the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
At least then it's like, oh, we're doing a thing. At least then that's something they could say, oh, we're doing this thing in Japan. We can point back at this.
Yeah.
Not just Assassin's Creed Red. 6 months' time, I'm not going to fucking remember what that is.
Well, you're not supposed to remember because the one that's coming out before it and Hex is Mirage, which is the one they want you to focus on.
Well, after Valhalla, I very much doubt I'm going to focus on an Assassin's Creed for a fucking long time.
Same.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into that game at all.
Until
Valhalla really burnt me on the Assassin's Creed formula.
Until Red, or brackets, Land of the Rising Sun, comes out. Then I might give a fuck again.
I'm not gonna lie, you can't keep me away from an Assassin's Creed themed game in Japan.
No.
I want that. Everyone wants that.
No, we've already had that. It was Ghost of Tsushima, and it was amazing. I can love that game, and I want the sequel for that now.
Assassin's Creed Shinobi. Hey, I'm fucking all over it.
Yeah. But there was one thing that I thought was really weird in the trailer for Mirage, and I'm probably the only person who's going to be slightly annoyed by this. So, because of when this one's set, this is set back in Baghdad and all this stuff, it's in, old setting for the setting, which means they have to remove the finger to use the hidden blade.
Yeah.
And they show you in the trailer him going through the process of cutting his finger off. They then show later on him using the hidden blade, but he's using the open palm style from the later games where they don't cut their fingers off.
But
so he just cuts his fingers off for no reason.
But the point is so that you can keep the fist and punch it in.
Yeah.
They say that in Valhalla, why would you cut your finger off? Why would you weaken yourself? And then it's you gotta cut your finger off, but just don't use it. Why? That's just stupid.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's such an odd thing. Because all the other times after that shot in the trailer, he has open strike. It's why did you include the shot of him cutting the finger off? I don't
We
get
just want
it.
you to prove that you're dedicated. You gotta cut a finger off.
It's dumb. Also, we got the announcement trailer for the last piece of DLC for Valhalla, given that I played none of the DLC for Valhalla, and currently part of the DLC for Valhalla is still broken and is incompletable.
Yay.
Who cares?
Is the next DLC Assassin's Creed Valhalla the continuation of a bloated game?
Fucking it. Look, man, that game was bloated without DLC.
Yeah.
It's slowly becoming Jabba the Hutt, just sitting in the corner.
Oh, Bajudara.
Bring me the assassins.
Bring me Solo. Next up, we got the next announced game for the Mario plus Rabbids series. I actually really like that series. It's
Mario
pretty fun.
Rabbids XCOM. I thoroughly enjoyed that series. It is.
I haven't
goofy
actually played
and
it, but
fun.
I've heard good things.
Look, man, if you want to give it a go, I have it. I have it on Switch. I can lend it to you. It's
Nice.
actually pretty fun.
Yeah. And
I've always heard good
the puzzles
things,
in
but
it
I've
are
never
like,
actually-
holy fuck, like, when you get a puzzle to work right, it's like, oh my god, the whole world just opened up. But until you hit
Nice.
that point, it's like, how the fuck am I meant to do this? Like, am I meant to focus on enemies, or am I meant to focus on moving my character to the other side of the fucking screen? Oh, I'm meant to use the enemies to move the character. What the fuck? And when you figure that out, it's like, oh, the whole thing just clicks.
Here's one of the things I do like about Mario games. They're very rarely shit. Like,
Yeah.
They're normally pretty solidly built. I still need to play the new Kirby as well, actually. 'Cause
Oh,
I have
Forgotten Land.
Yeah. I've
There
heard
was-
really good things. Apparently it's like a really fun game.
There was an absolute chance of this Mario Rabbids game being shit, mostly because it's developed by Ubisoft and it's got Rabbids in it. There is a very high chance of it being shit, but they managed to pull it out, and I'm just hoping they can fucking bottle lightning and the second one is as good as the fucking first, because I
Well,
really
this
enjoyed
one
the first.
they're including one of Ubisoft's mascots because it's going to include Rayman.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Well, it's where the Rabbids come from, so I suppose like they've gone through the whole Mario characters, so now they've got to bring Mario into the Rabbids universe, and there's Rayman. Though I'd like it if they brought in all the DLC of that. They added in Donkey Kong and like a bit of extra stuff. It'd be cool if you had already started with all of those characters, and then they bring in some more from other realms. That'd be interesting.
That would be.
That'd be fun.
Next up, we got the new trailer for Skull and Bones, which I don't think anyone here gives a flying fuck about.
I've already played Skull and Bones.
I
It's
was
called
keen
Assassin's
for it
Creed
until
4.
like... Yeah, like... I was keen for it when it was still... They were trying to, like, recreate Assassin's Creed 4. Then they took away all the shit we didn't want them to take away. It's like... I want to be I want to do the parkour-y things in pirate time and give me a ship. That's it. Just have fun with that. Like, oh, no, you want to be locked in your ship and not be able to move, yeah? Yeah, that's how it works. Why?
The ship combat wasn't that interesting. It was a fun arcade side note. The most fun I had on that boat was traveling between islands listening to sea shanties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finding a random merchant going, I want your stuff. It sucks to be you right now. And taking over a boat and boarding said boat.
Yeah.
Like, it was great.
But no.
I actually wouldn't mind Skull and Bones if, like, you can go through, do your whole pirate thing, steal all the treasure, and then you could fuck off and bury it and leave a map, and then that map gets randomly generated, and you find someone else's map, and you got to go find it and defend and shit. That'd actually be pretty fun. Like, they could do some fun things, but it's Ubisoft, so it's going to be climb to the highest point to unlock a section of the map. Again.
Yeah. Over and over again.
Next up is an update on Trackmania.
Because that's still a
Which
thing.
is-
Going.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got a pretty robust speedrunning community that's still going. But it's going over to consoles with crossplay enabled, so that's good, I guess. I mean, I
It is
haven't
one
played Trackmania since we were back in uni.
It's one of those few genres where keyboard and mouse isn't going to be all that different to a fucking controller. So it's one of the few games where you could have crossplay without a major disparity in fucking control, which is actually pretty
most
interesting.
of the controls for Trackmania were just the arrow keys. Like, it was a real bare bones racing game. It was supposed to take it back to all the pure, like, just twitch reflexes on driving instead of like, oh, I am the master of drift.
It might be one of the few things where a controller actually works better. You can actually have a little more fine control instead of tap left, tap right to fucking try and dial it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Here's to hoping. Hopefully it works out.
We can dream.
We got another Just Dance game coming out. I don't think any of us give a shit about Just Dance.
No, but it wouldn't be a
Yeah.
Ubisoft thing without a Just Dance piece of trash. Hopefully they had a stage full of people no one gave a fuck about dancing to a song no one remembers.
What property have they layered on top of it this time? Like, there's normally a theme or something to them, isn't there? Because there was a Star Wars one. I remember that much.
Usually the just basic Just Dance don't have a theme over them. They're just like
Coloured people.
I mean, it's like Guitar Hero, but for dancing. They do like themed editions sometimes, but like just normal Just Dance is just like, yeah, we got a bunch of songs.
Here's neon skin paint and furry costumes. Yay!
Yeah.
I know someone must be buying them, but who's buying these games?
Woo girls.
Yeah, fair.
Next up, we got another fucking mobile game in Rainbow Six Mobile.
Why?
Who was asking for this? Like,
I
these-
don't-
13-year-olds, probably.
the Rainbow Six like scene is like it's fairly well built into what it is at the moment. Like on PC and console, like they're fairly focused on their whole multiplayer thing of it. I don't see how it'd fucking work on bloody mobile phones.
I
and
think they're
tablets.
trying... Because I know that, like, was it Fortnite went to mobiles and tablets. Maybe they're just trying to cash in on that market again.
Yeah, but that style of game could work on a fucking tablet. Like, it's meant to be sort of, well, for lack of a better word, janky. Like, it's
Yeah.
sort of cartoony in that, whereas Rainbow Six is meant to be almost a hardcore tactical shooter. You're meant to be able to sit there and twitch snipe and blow a hole through a wall and shoot, see who's on the other side, where I don't see that working too well on a fucking mobile game.
All I can imagine, because it's
Oh, no, I think...
actually like it is actually Rainbow Six Mobile. It's not a separate game. It has crossplay enabled.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
then I would absolutely love to be a PC player that jumps on a server with nothing but fucking mobile players. God damn, that round would be over so fucking
All I can
quick.
imagine.
You would be a god.
All I can imagine is that the idea here is for those, those Bluetooth controllers you can get, which have like a spot
okay.
for you to put your phone on.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that that's the demographic they're targeting, because then they've at least got a full controller to work with, and they've just got Rainbow Six with them in their pocket or bag. But that's it. That's all I got. I have no other idea what this is for.
That'd be
Man,
the
you'd want to
only
have
way
a
it's
really good
remotely
mobile.
playable. Oh, fucking earth.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to be
Like,
sitting
these
in
kinds
a
of things-
5G area and praying to fuck.
Yeah.
You're at least in a lobby with other mobile players.
These kinds of things could not be... Like, they can't survive here in Australia. We don't have the infrastructure to have, like, someone running around and playing that on a phone.
No.
No.
Like,
Well-
it just... Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a bad call. But whatevs, guys, do you. Next up was the another testing phase launched for the next Division expansion, Heartland.
It's not an expansion. It's a standalone.
Oh, it
So-
is?
Yeah, so Division 2, they're still releasing, they're doing another year of seasons for that. Heartland is its own little thing off to the side. It's a...
So instead of being in a big city, you're in, like, Ohio, essentially.
Yeah, sort of. It's a PvEVP kind of experience. So you can go out with your squad and fight other people, but there's also enemies, like NPCs and AI in the area. And but
so it's just
you have to extract with stuff. It's another fucking one of those extraction.
So they're just
games.
spinning off Dark Zone.
Yeah, they're pretty much making a larger... well, to me, it feels like a larger Dark Zone. I could be very fucking wrong there, but that's how it feels to me. And to me, the Dark Zone in any of the Division games, it just annoyed the shit out of me. Like, it's just a way to troll people. I'd rather just play the open world content and with some mates. I don't see Heartland being as big as any of the previous Division games.
No, neither do I, even though it is free. I'm not feeling that. They did announce that some of the content for the next season they're doing for Division, and that the sign-ups are going live for Division Resurgence, which is
Another
a
mobile
mobile
game.
spin-off.
Yay!
Yay!
Like, I dumped a lot of time into Division 2. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then they got to the end of their planned seasons and went absolutely dirty on the last boss. They built up... It's literally the first character you meet in the first game all the way through to the second game, and then they get to the end, and it's like, oh, you'd killed him. No cutscene, no nothing. That's it. And then a year later, they said, oh, you sort of didn't like that, and we've got a bit more money now. Let's do some more stories. Like, I'm fucking done. I got burned out of that game after a year of no content. We're brewing stuff soon. Give me a Division 3 or fuck off.
That is fair. Next up, we got some more content coming for Riders Republic. I don't play Riders Republic. I don't think any of us do.
Nope. Yeah. Sports ball done good.
Sports ball! Yay!
Except it doesn't have sports ball in it.
No,
it doesn't.
But it'd be better if they had sports ball in it.
But they have vans now.
Oh,
so you can just fly around and abduct people?
No, the shoe brand.
You can throw shoes at people, hopefully.
Right, that also works.
As they're rolling down a hill, you get to stand there as an FPS and throw shoes at them. I can live with that. I'd actually play that.
I'd be okay. That would be a great side mode, just trying to knock these guys off the bike or something. It's like, here, like, you just... Microtransactions, you can buy heavier objects. I'd probably pay for that then.
How would that be for an
just different shoe brands?
Like,
yeah,
it's a...
spectator mode just means you're actual spectator with fucking things to throw at them. Would that not be fun?
It turns the game into a tower defense. You have to go along and hop along to each section with a different set of fucking shoes, try and get it in the spokes. Oh, I would pay for that. That'd be fun.
Light but quick is more like your Vans.
Exactly,
your mid-range stuff is like some Nikes. Your heavies are a pair of Docs.
Your light long range is a pair of thongs.
Get that frisbee in.
A bit of a boomerang to curve it around, whack straight in the side of the head. Your heavy artillery, you got to have a pair of Docs or heavy artillery or combat boots.
Oh, of course.
Mid-range, you have to have a pair of gummies. Good old gum boots.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
High risk, high reward, pair of steel caps. If they happen to get on the right rotation and you get the steel cap impact, you get extra damage.
Fucking pair of stilettos for piercing damage. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
A nice strappy number to entangle the bike.
Oh, yeah. Alright. You get to add a pair of gym socks for caustic damage.
Oh, God.
Look. Ubisoft.
See, we've just made a new game. Make that. Fuck.
If you hear this one, Ubisoft, look, while we'd like you to call us out, maybe throw out some cash for the site. Look, I'm not going to lie, Ubisoft, you can have this one for free.
Yeah.
You can have it for free. Hell, I will even pay for your game. I will actually buy a copy of your game if I can throw shit at people playing the other fucking stupid game.
Right? It'd be great.
Next up was more seasonal content for the crew. None of us played the crew.
Again, I think there's a way to improve the crew too. The crew 2 Overpass Edition, where you just get to throw shit off an overpass at a race going underneath.
Basically, we're saying Ubisoft, put things where we can throw things at other people in your thing.
Just
let us be able to muck around with other people's games. Like, if it's imagine being a streamer for it, just you going around this brick slams into your fucking windshield. Like,
and it doesn't even hit the windscreen. Like, you throw a tire off, it lands on the road, and it flips someone else's car. There's points right there.
Ooh.
Like,
exactly.
Just the troll version of any of their fucking games where you can fuck with someone else's game. I'm down for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keen.
Next up was the Season 3 sneak peek of Mythic Quest. I don't watch Mythic Quest. I don't really like their live action show.
I don't even know what Mythic Quest is.
It's a TV show about game development, but for a fictitious company and a fictitious game.
I've not watched it.
Neither have I.
If they're not making a game where you get to throw people get rolling down a hill or vehicles going under an overpass, I don't really want to play it.
Yeah. We have a very specific thing of what we want the next few years.
Apparently so. We've planned out Ubisoft's upcoming catalogue.
Exactly.
And the last really big thing of noteworthy is Assassin's Creed's getting a live-action TV show. But I already, as stated, don't really like the TV show offering, so...
Hi, this is Netflix. You've been greenlit. What can I do you for?
I mean, although Netflix have said that they're crimping down on that stuff.
Oh yeah, better shit less often instead of trash all the time, but...
Yeah. Now that
Come on.
everyone's not like trapped in their homes anymore, it's like, oh shit, we have to try. I guess we'll trim some of the fat.
I guess
Well, I mean-
we'll trim some of the fat. Oh, by the way, we're going to screw people over who share passwords or share fucking logins. Like,
Despite the fact that
Yeah.
was part of their fucking marketing at the start.
yeah.
Yeah. Bastards.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb. Speaking of companies doing dumb shit,
Nice segue.
Meta's
Hey.
been in the news again.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, so like, what have they actually done? Because I looked at little bits of it and it
So-
just seems stupid.
So what they've done, after the 2016 presidential elections, they developed what they called a responsible innovation team, and that was meant to be a group of 20 plus people who go through, and they decide if what we're doing socially responsible or not, is the direction we're taking for the betterment of society or not.
So they
and-
tried to put it in a conscience, essentially.
Well, they effectively had an ethics department saying, "Hey, look,
Ooh.
no, this is a sort of bad direction to take, or this isn't for the betterment of society." And they've currently decided, "Oh, we don't need to be told we're doing a bad thing. Let's get rid of it." Right? Yeah. So it is the group saying, "Are we the baddies?" If you completely remove the option to ask that question, the answer is
Yeah.
yes. There is
I
no
agree, but-
alternative.
That is the equivalent of a serial killer turning their conscience on. Like, I wonder, am I doing a bad thing? Yes. Well, I don't like that answer. I'm going to turn that back off.
I don't know. I feel
It's
like if
not
your
me,
company
everyone else is
requires a division to walk around your office with a rolled up newspaper going, "No, that's bad," I feel like you've already become the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same as like Google years ago removing "Don't be evil" from their fucking company statement. Like, it's gonna happen one way or another.
Yeah.
They're a corporation. They're going.
That
to do
was
an
the
evil
weird
thing.
thing, though. Like, I remember that happening. It was like, are they going to do evil now? It's like, no, it was just a silly little thing. Like, then why didn't you just keep it in?
Yeah.
It's like, and I love the backlash from that, and they still don't have it back in, which makes me sad.
So, it's the
But
same.
again, like, have you ever actually read the terms and conditions on things?
Has anyone
Like the
ever?
iTunes. Oh, like, someone
Didn't
does.
we talk
One
about
guy,
this last week?
maybe, but like, isn't it in the terms and conditions for iTunes that you can't use iTunes in the conjunction of making any kind of nuclear weapon or something? Like, that's stipulated in there for some reason.
There was
What else
that
am I going
one,
to do with my iNuke? It only works in a walled
Yeah.
garden. It only detonates in a very small area, and it's not compatible with anything else around it.
Wasn't it the
Sounds pretty safe.
group who put into their terms and conditions that if you agreed to it, you gave them your soul?
Yes, they got a lot of shit for that. People got really angry.
There was a whole
Like,
series
joke's
of
on them,
fucking-
I don't have a soul.
There's a whole series of South Park episodes on this of not reading the terms and conditions, and
Yeah.
they end up like harvesting organs. And like, we'll stop doing this if you sign the terms and conditions. And
No,
you just
no.
sign it.
It
You
was
didn't
they,
read them
they
again.
turned him into a human Sentai
yeah,
pad.
that's it.
That's right, yeah.
Although, speaking of dumb shit, because this happened after the episode that we recorded last week where we brought this topic up, and we'll probably bring it up again because we love ranting about it.
An
We
update.
were talking about the tractors that had the copyright in them. So that
John
you couldn't-
Deere's.
Yeah, the John Deere ones.
Oh, yeah.
An Australian guy cracked the DRM on those. To show that he did it, he started playing Doom on a John Deere tractor.
Oh yeah. I'm a little disappointed he wasn't playing Farming Simulator on it.
Look, man, he's only got so much hardware to work with.
Like, I would love
That
it
is
if you could
true.
install a graphics card in your John Deere and play Farming Simulator in an actual fucking John Deere. That would be fucking amazing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I just like that it's some random Australian guy figures out how to crack this multi-million-dollar company's DRM and he's like, fuck you, I'm playing Doom.
Can it run Doom? God damn it can.
Look, man, it's like every computer ever made, your fridge, a pregnancy test, an oscilloscope machine, and now a tractor.
Yeah.
I
Like,
would
all you
love it.
do, it's going to happen eventually, but you can speed up the process by saying that thing is uncrackable.
Oh,
The
yeah.
second that is mentioned, that's when the internet just zeroes in, like hyper focuses. It's like, impossible, you say? Fuck you.
It'd be fun if you like just sold a random product and in like the bottom of the fucking list of features, you just had runs Doom, and it's only got like a tiny little screen that's completely useless other than it runs Doom. That's it. That would sell like fucking hotcakes.
It really fucking would, to be honest.
Like, kids' fucking school lunchbox runs Doom. Done. I wouldn't even need to go outside at fucking lunch at work. I would sit in my fucking lunchroom and play Doom. I'd be happy as fucking Larry.
Yeah, great.
Although, again, speaking of games, there is actually one I wanted to talk about this week that actually did something that I think is really good and that more games should really fucking do.
Was it Doom?
So, no, oddly enough, it was
it on a
nothing to do with
lunchbox?
Doom. I mean, there might be pictures on a lunchbox. I don't know if the game's on a lunchbox.
There's hope yet.
I've been playing this game called Steel Rising. It's the new game by Spider. It's their first go at a Souls-like. It's actually not too bad. But, as often with these companies when they do their first Souls-like, they tend to do a lot of location recycling. You know, they've only got so many enemies and so many sets they can design on a budget. So, they do a bit of reuse. So they have a bunch of side quests that often take you back to areas and locations you've already done and been in. The thing they decided to do, which I think is really good and more companies need to think about doing, is at the completion of these side quests, you quite often get given an item called a carriage token. What this item is, it will automatically warp you back to the start of the level where the quick travel point is to go to other levels. And I think that's really good. You're already recycling your content, having the player go to the side quest location, and they've essentially gone, you've completed the side quest. You don't have to run through the whole level again to get out again. We're just going to give you an item to free warp out.
I like
I think that's a great idea, and more games really should do that, particularly if you don't have the budget to have a lot of unique and distinct levels. If you need to reuse levels, having quick outs, amazing idea. Absolutely should exist.
Definitely.
Why is that not a thing? Like, Outlanders does it. Like, that's a game that sort of flopped, and then I know it had it all the way through. How did that get fucking missed in a game where it can be difficult to run through it? Why do you have to run back through it after you've done the shit you want to do? Like, how did that get missed at all? And
Well,
I mean,
Souls-likes were always a slog, weren't they? Like, it was always like, you're doing this the hard way, like, no matter what you're doing.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it though. Like the big ones who set this whole formula of game design up, being from Dark Souls games, tend to flow outward.
Yeah.
They don't specifically go back. You can if you want to, but they generally don't do it. They'll create shortcuts so you can cut chunks of the level out and not have to ever do them again. So a lot of people, when they're making this style of game, try to emulate that, but they don't always succeed, or they don't have enough budget to create enough of these detailed, interconnected levels. Steel Rising has a lot of switchbacks and shortcuts and things you can open. It has really detailed levels, but clearly they didn't have the budget to make too many of them. So they came up with this great solution, and I think it's a great idea. And if you can't do the big levels and you don't have the budget to make so many of them, you've got to do a reuse. Minimize player shit.
It sounds like a common sense problem, like a common sense solution to a common sense problem.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, common sense isn't very common. So,
Well, like, we all learnt game design and that kind of stuff as a basic level. John Doe went into a bit deeper than we did. But the whole thing of replay value, in some cases, or play time, essentially, a lot of companies will do anything they can to extend the playtime. In some cases, that can be weird, shifty things like you can't quick travel or you can't skip this content if you go back for a side quest. And I was like, well, I get that, but it also just fucking sucks. Have you ever gone back to the original Pokemon games and been stuck walking? You can't run?
But by that, like the latest Assassin's Creed game, when they first announced that, 200 plus hours of fucking playtime. That's That's not a fucking game. That's a second job. That's more effort than I ever want to put into a fucking game.
Especially because there was like, what, maybe 18 hours of actual game in those 200 hours?
The rest is find the fucking collectible. Find the fucking point.
Yeah.
That's not fucking game time. That's straight out filler. That's
Or
Pretty much,
you have to do something interesting with the amount of space you have, because a lot of the problem with Assassin's Creed as well is like, here's objective 1. Now run 5 minutes of real world time that way to get to objective 2. You look at something like Red Dead Redemption 2, where they quite often had you traveling with people, and so there would be a lot of dialogue and stories between the characters happening while you were traveling.
Not just go to point A, go to point B, climb point C, jump off to point D. That's
because
just
they at
repetition.
least realized with Red Dead Redemption that if we're going to have you stuck traveling that way, it's a great time to give you exposition. Like,
and given the fact that you're supposed to be part of a posse, and you're supposed to know all these characters, as a player, you don't know any of them. So you need to build those relationships within the player's view. The easiest way to do it was while you're traveling. Also, given the fact that you're like often like a big group, you'll be traveling and you'll be talking, and I don't know if it was timed that way or if it just happened to always turn out like that for me. A lot of the time I'd get to a location and they'd be in the middle of a conversation, then someone would be like, "Ooh, shut up guys, we're here.
Yeah.
And it really felt like you were a group of guys just talking until it was like, job's on, business time.
But
It felt like an actual gang.
They
They
did
did.
have
They
a
did
system
that
for
really
like in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They had like if you were in your boat going down the river, you could listen to stories. You could listen to a fucking sea shanty. Fucking great. And then you're gonna raid somewhere, and they go, right, we're gonna hit this joint. Everyone, shut up. And then you turn off, and you fucking nail the place. That was gold. But traveling around, having to do it by yourself, it's like, god fucking damn.
Especially because there were like, what, 20 of those raids in the whole game?
When it launched, yeah, and then they, as a DLC, they brought out river raids, which were like added ones, but yeah, pretty much. Sometimes
at that point,
just
they'd already burned a fair few people.
Oh, they'd burned a lot of people by then.
Yeah.
Like, I was well
It
and
took
truly
me-
done. I jumped back on just to try the river raids. It's like, alright, I've done this. I'm done. I'm out.
I mean, it took me less than 2 hours to find an area where I could get out of the geometry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't take
And
much
I wasn't
at
even
all.
trying.
They packed too much in and missed too many little details of how you can break shit. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still always just remember the fact that part of the game glitched, and I was never able to get one of the ultimate weapons just because one of the quests glitched, and I could never get the item required from it.
Yeah.
I have no love for Valhalla, which is
Yeah.
disappointing because I love Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Same. North mythology is fucking weird. It's really fun.
Or even, like, previous games, go back to Assassin's Creed 4, you're in your ship and you listen to fucking sea shanties and stuff cruised around.
the-
You didn't even need to
the sea
get onto an
shanties.
island. You just cruise the fuck around the islands, listen to sea shanties. That is a hell of a
I
time.
often used to like sit there and circle an objective because it was like halfway through a shanty I
Yeah,
liked,
so-
and as
yeah.
I was about to pull into the place, they started another shanty I liked. I'm like, well, we're going round again, boys. Let's do it. It's like, ah. The only
that-
bad thing about that game was the assassin part.
It was. Put that shit on shuffle and just let me cruise the fuck around. Hopefully that's what Skull and Bones is.
It is.
We can dream.
No, it definitely won't be, but we can hope.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, meta is evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the original point of this conversation.
Yeah.
Metabad.
Actually, it was me praising a game and a small developer for doing a thing that bigger developers should know how to do.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
well that too.
It does tie in. It's a common sense problem. Don't be evil. Ugh.
And if you
Why?
get rid of the people that ask, are we being evil? Yes, you are being evil. Done.
It does remind me of things because Meta is still trying to do the like virtual world thing, aren't they? They want to be the whole meet in a virtual space.
They're scaling back on it due to lack of interest and loss. But they're still
Oh,
working
Lack
on
of
it.
interest. They never had any interest from the fucking start. But
No one
like,
asked for it. No one
the-
wanted it. He just wanted to be what's the Enter Player One? He
yeah.
wanted to be that essentially, but apparently did not understand the assignment of it's a free place, not full of corporate greed.
He wanted Ready Player One after the corporations already won that challenge.
Yeah.
That's when he wanted to
pretty
be.
much.
But, like, the difference from, like, the ad of him standing there and here's his virtual him, and then the actual in-world where he looks like a fucking me from Nintendo in, like, the early 2000s.
Where it looks worse than fucking VR chat, which is free.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't know who, like, what third year fucking student did you get to make this for you? Like, this is fucking terrible.
Yeah. Someone oversold their capabilities, didn't they?
Oh, they did. He's got a nephew or a niece somewhere that's going through a game design course and said, I can do a thing! And then he dumped money into it. And
no, let's be honest, he doesn't have that niece or nephew anymore because he dumped a lot of money and it flopped. That niece or nephew is now, like, somewhere very undisclosed. But I don't understand. No one was asking for it. And then there's, like, in the corner, I think it's Microsoft or someone trying to get full dive VR as a thing. Like, they have a couple of things going in the background because they want to start improving VR. But they're partnered with... They want to make a game which is Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
It's literally Sword Art Online VR. And I'm like, did you not watch the show? The show is you are in a VR world, and if you die, you die. Who is going to buy this just in case?
I'd be happy if they put the fucking microwave in the headset, so if you do die, you're fucking gone. I'd never play it, but that would be funny as fuck.
I would watch people, like...
That would be Twitch that I would watch. I would watch the shit out of that on Twitch.
Although, to be honest, if I was given the option to plug my brain into a game, I would probably do it. Even with the threat of death. Like, I'm that kind of idiot.
We all read far too many lit RPGs to know that we'd all do that. But...
oh, we would disappear into the internet within seconds. Like...
Well, now that we've brought up books, do we want to talk about the book this week? Because it's finally time.
It's time to get this book out of our fucking system.
I am going to have to let you guys talk about this because I tried, man. I tried on multiple occasions to read this fucking book. And this is the first book that's in my Audible account that is unfinished. I have little intention of doing so.
I would like to apologise to anyone else that listened along with us because this one was a fucking slog. If you actually enjoyed this book, more power to you. That was fucking great. I listened to it and oh my fucking god!
If you want to get the gist of this book, just watch the series. For the love of God, the series is at least coherent. Like, holy shit!
I'd recommend one of the few times where the TV show is better than the book.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often.
No, reading it's meant to be a book about madness and being forced into a situation where you don't want to fucking be there. That's reading this fucking book. I think it was deliberately written that way to force you to think, oh, fuck me, this is dragging.
I think it only could have been written that way, or else... it's just so weird. There was a point where I could have sworn I had restarted the fucking recording.
Yeah.
I got to... I think I was, live chatting you guys at the time, going, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I'm 20 hours in, I don't want to start again. Oh shit, it's the same thing from a slightly different character listening to the exact same fucking conversation.
I swear to God, it gave me the Abbott and Costello vibes for who's on second, who's on first. It's just that, but to an nth degree. It's ramped up to 11, and it's I can't stop saying the same words, for the love of God. New words, other words exist. Please use them.
Major. Oh my fucking god.
The word major has lost all meaning for me.
Oh yeah.
Completely. I can't anymore. It was painful. And the weirdest thing is no one gets their comeuppance.
No.
They're all horrible people.
But that's also sort of deliberate in it. The higher ups that cause all of the shit never have anything blow back on them because that's the way of the military. You're higher up, and it's the lower class's fucking problem.
Not just the higher ups. There's a point where one of the gunner crew throws a chick out of a window and kills her, and the military police run past him, who has literally killed someone in the last 10 minutes, a random civilian, and arrest the main character instead because he went AWOL. And like, I get it, it's the whole, bureaucracy's fucking dumb thing of the military, but what the fuck? It's never brought up again, apart from to say, yeah, no, he doesn't get punished for it. Like, the fuck? And most of the book is just them assaulting a lot of women.
Yeah,
weirdly.
That I wasn't expecting that when it got recommended to me.
Yeah.
None of that got mentioned. It's like, oh shit, okay, I've just recommended this book for everyone to read. Okay, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll
that was a bit
it.
weird. It was a bit strange. Like, it hasn't aged well. I will give.
Oh
I'll
no,
give
it
that.
absolutely
Like,
hasn't.
The book hasn't
there's
aged well.
a lot of language in it that was used at the time and may have been socially acceptable at the time, that is not now. Like,
no, not at all. Like,
no, it's like, oh, okay, that was a little abrupt. Sure.
like it probably didn't help that I listened to this book primarily on planes. Because I was flying around a lot the recent days. So I'm listening to a book about people being paranoid getting on planes in case they're shot down on a plane. Let it never be said that I am an intelligent person. But I swear I was going insane listening to this book. And if it's written that way, fucking well done. You got the thing. I felt like I was having a fever dream.
I genuinely don't think I could tell you exactly how many primary characters are in this book. Because every time it tells you the exact same event through a different character's eyes from a different fucking perspective of what's going on around them, and then does the exact same thing several times in different sections of the book, and it's just fucking hard to follow.
And there's certain things that just don't make sense, at all. Like Nately's whore, which is basically the name they give to one of them. You never know her actual name, so that's just how she's referred to as. A prostitute one of the characters falls in love with, and eventually she does too. And then, shock surprise, he dies because it's the war. But then she blames Yossarian, the main character, for
and then
all
goes
of it.
absolutely nuts and hunts him down over hundreds of miles.
Yeah, multiple countries, abandoning her sister at the same time, her child sister at the same time. Who in the book, Yossarian goes AWOL trying to find this very young 10-year-old girl to make sure that she's okay, because for some reason the military police just turfed them out of the building. For no apparent reason. And literally the reason was given us Catch-22. We could, so we did.
Yeah. So all the way through, Catch-22 has different fucking meanings depending on what character is using it. And it's meant, from the start of it, it's that if you want out of the military, you're obviously not nuts enough to leave the military, so you need to stay in. But if you're nuts enough to know you're in a bad situation, I've explained that fucking badly, but the whole fucking book is that loopy that it's hard to fucking track. I enjoyed it. I listened, enjoyed it's fucking very relative. I listened to it and I thought, okay, well, this is a book that I'm sure someone has enjoyed. I will never listen to this book again. It'll stay in my Audible pile as finished, and it will never get looked at or downloaded again.
I can still barely remember things. Things flash up in what happened, and I'm still trying to remember, the plane, where it keeps mentioning, because I've already seen the series. I kind of knew the gist of it. And they kept mentioning one of the guys who liked to buzz the platform in the ocean to scare people. I'm like, oh, fuck, I know what happens later. And it's fucking messed up. That's going to be interesting. But when that finally happens, it's just that wasn't as rewarding or shocking as it could have been.
It's very flash in the pan. Oh, this happened, and it's covered in half a chapter, and then they all move on.
Yeah. The only repercussion from it is they all now insist that the Doctor is dead, but he is quite honestly alive. He's standing in front of them, and it's the whole bureaucracy thing ramped up to 11. It's oh no, it says here you're dead, therefore you're dead.
Yeah, that plane went down and you were on it, so you can't be here in front of me because you were on that plane that went down.
Yeah, so they pay out his widow and everything. He sends her a letter saying, ignore it, I'm still alive. But then she gets another letter from one of the colonels, who... All the colonels are just massive cockheads. But he's like, no, he's dead. Definitely dead. Very, very dead. Because he doesn't want to admit it, because it would make him look bad.
Yeah. It's full of unnecessary viciousness. Like,
Yeah.
there is no compassion for any character in it at all. It's very,
Yeah.
oh, I can be a dick here. I'm going to be a dick here. Like,
the only one you could really kind of feel sorry for is Nately, because he is pegged as just being a innocent child, because he is 15. He lies about his age to be enlisted. And maybe Yossarian.
Yossarian gets so many bad hooks. Like, there's so many
he
points
does,
in that
but
where
he
it's
also
like,
fucks people around.
oh, absolutely he does. But at every opportunity where, like, he's actually done good, he's lined something up that'll actually come out good for him, gets fucked over because someone else just doesn't feel like doing their actual job.
Like the mate of the guy who's running the syndicate.
Yeah.
Like, who's just scamming people for money. And when he's going looking for the child, gets distracted by illegal tobacco and just ditches him.
No, or, like, for the repercussion, like, he literally conspires with the enemy to bomb his own airfield, and there are no repercussions.
It's worse than that. He bombs his own airfield with his own people.
With his own army's own fucking bombs, and then lands on that same airfield going, oh, it's just business. And then
because he shows that it made money.
Yeah.
No, there are no repercussions because he made money for the colonels, and everyone gets a cut of the syndicate, despite no one ever seeing a cent.
No, ever. It's good for the syndicate. It's good for you. It's good for me.
Yeah, and it's a fun idea and everything, but again, like it's one of those things that gets played out over and over again. It's like, I don't like this character.
Yeah.
Some character here has to be endearing, and they have to. Like, I want some kind of resolution. The ending of the book is Yossarian's whore again appearing out of nowhere, trying to kill Yossarian.
I want to, like, at least some part of it where, like, I sort of care about this character, and I actually want something to happen that will actually be satisfying to, alright, I've closed the book, I'm done. Like, I'm not asking for a happy ending, I'm just asking for a fucking realistic ending. Like,
yeah.
Not just, oh, I'm done now, I'm gonna fuck off to Sweden. Bye.
But we don't even get that. Like,
no.
It's the whole thing of, because I don't know how far you actually got, Seth, but the roommate he's with. You met the roommate he was with, yeah? Yeah, that guy. At one point, his plane goes down. But it's mentioned that his plane goes down every single time he goes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, fuck, he's dead. He's AWOL. He's completely gone. There was no hope of him surviving. And he kept telling Yossarian the entire way through, he's like, switch to my team. You should definitely switch to my team. I'll look after you. Switch to my team. The very last part of the book is you're finding out this guy has ended up in Sweden. And Yossarian's like, put it all together going, he's been practicing how to crash. That's why he always goes down. He's been practicing the crash and plotting the course to get to Sweden. And at one point, he had a water crash and then kept everyone alive because he was, fishing and that kind of thing. So he was planning how to survive. At which point he's like, I should have switched to his team. What I have to do now is I have to get to Sweden. I don't even care. I'm on a run. And then it ends as he's trying to leave the room, and his Nately's whore has again tried to kill him, and that's it.
That's it.
You don't know if she's killed him.
Stabbed several times, and that's it. That's the ending you get left with after confusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
That face
you just every time he gets a windfall.
When it goes, this was audible. Fuck off.
Yeah. No, that was one of the few times where I had that's happened. I've gone, fuck you. Yeah. Because there was no resolution.
It really sounds like the catch-22 of this book is this book.
Yeah.
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 Which I kind of hope was designed, because
the whole book was based on madness, and by the time you get to the end of it, it was just a confusing fucking utter madness going, I went through that. I've been through an ordeal. Who the fuck can I talk to about this ordeal? Oh, catch-22. Fucking no one.
Yeah. It's honestly like listening to a fever dream. And if that was intentional, well done. You did it.
Fuck it, round of applause.
Yeah, fuck.
Well,
well fucking done, sir. You understood the assignment and you nailed it.
Yeah. Your book officially pissed me off.
Yeah. I felt like I was going insane. Just It was not great.
I literally wanted to get out of the book, but I hadn't finished the book. But I needed to get out of the book, but I hadn't finished the book, so I couldn't get out of the book yet. I was caught in Catch-22, and this motherfucker, it took some doing. I got through it eventually.
We had that just strange experience. Like, is it an interesting book? Yes. Would I ever recommend it to anyone? Fuck no.
No. I've literally told my uncle he recommended it to me. You were a dick. Like, I'm not going to take that book recommendation from you again. That was fucked.
What was his response?
He looked at me and laughed. He was like, oh, fuck you. I would slap you.
You knew
he just
knew
wanted to
exactly
inflict
what he
this.
was doing.
I don't even want to recommend this to inflict this on people.
No. It's 16 hours and 22 minutes of going, what the fuck am I listening to? This is like walking through molasses.
So, I had a quick jump on the wiki just to see, like, you know...
Was it intentional?
And style. Yeah, basically trying to figure it out. This is how they describe the writing style. A distinctive, non-chronological, third-person, omniscient narrator.
That actually fits, and I hate the fact that it does. Oh, man.
That's just getting a handful of fucking words and throwing them out. It goes, this is what it is. Yeah.
And somehow it's correct. Like, what the fuck? Like, honestly, I understand why this was a bestseller. I understand people's draw to it. It is not for me. I am not the target audience for this book. If you enjoyed this, power to you. Well done. I don't know what's in your head. I hope you're okay. But, like, yeah, no, like, not for me. So... Oh, yeah, now it's, like, my turn to actually pick the next book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to need a pretty solid palate cleanser this week.
Yeah, this one has actually been recommended to me by a few people.
Just quickly, I'd like to apologise again. I'm fucking sorry for Catch-22. I'll try and do better next time, but I'll most likely come up with another fucking dud. So, deal with it.
No,
guarantee we're all going to pick a stinker at some point. We got it out of the way. Like,
I mean,
eventually we all listen to a bad recommendation. Like, it happens.
I mean, I'm a little worried that the next book I've got on deck, because I've got the Halloween book, it might not tickle everybody else's jollies, but I really liked it, so I'm a little
It's
worried.
fine. Like,
fuck it.
that one was an unknown. Spoopy! But yeah, no, I've got the next one, and I've gone with He Who Fights with Monsters. It's another lit RPG, because after Catch-22, I went back to 10 Realms, and I'm stuck in a slog book for that, but even that's infinitely better than what I had just listened to. So, and He Who Fights with Monsters, I've been told by a few people, is pretty worth it. So I'll quickly bring up the blurb.
The He Who Fights with Monsters, I think won, I think it was 2021 Audible Fantasy Book of the Year, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It won some award for it anyway.
Yeah, it's winning. It's a few awards for it, and
it's sort of popular. So
yeah, and the ratings are all 5-star. Like this is one of those ones where it's like complete 5-star rating. There's very few low ratings. But let's have a look. So it's not easy making the career jump from office supplies store middle manager to heroic interdimensional traveler. At least Jason tries to be heroic, but it's hard to be good when when all your powers are evil. So basically, he's again transported into another realm. He'll face off against cannibals, cultists, wizards, monsters, and that's just on the first day. He's going to need courage. He's going to need wit, and he's going to need some magical powers of his own. But first, he's going to need pants. And that alone was enough to get me in on this series, I think. Like, I was in. After cementing himself as one of the best rated serial novels on Royal Road, with an astonishing 13 million views, He Who Fights Monsters is now brought to us in a professionally formatted audio. So, yeah, no, that sounds interesting.
I'm actually significantly more interested because I was just checking out the About the series, and it starts out by pointing out that this is a laid-back Australian.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, from Melbourne.
Oh, fuck, yes!
They're finally throwing an Australian into a random magical world?
No wonder it's He Who Fights with Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We basically live with monsters in Australia all the time.
And no wonder he takes all the evil powers.
I mean, of course, he's
didn't know
from
that.
fucking Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know it was an Australian protagonist. Is it actually written by an Australian, though? That's the question.
It's also read by an Australian.
Yes!
Oh, fuck, yes.
Oh, we get the proper accent!
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than someone from another country trying to imitate our accent. Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah. And they actually pronounce Melbourne correctly. It's Melbourne, not
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Have you been to Melbourne?
I've never been to Melbourne. I've been to Melbourne.
Oh,
The
God.
Melbourne identity.
I'm now even more keen for this book I already picked.
right?
It's amazing. But yes, that'll be our next one. We'll put up a link for that. And I'm going to be honest, I think there's probably going to be a fair few lit RPG novels passing through our book club.
Maybe.
I don't know why, but it seems to, it plays well with our demons. Leave us alone. But I will try to make sure my next book is not a lit RPG. So I'll deviate from that and make sure I have something more fantasy-based. Or
Don't worry, we're not doing a horror lit RPG for October. I have something else planned.
I can't promise
Excellent.
mine won't be. But if there's any left by the time I get around to it, because goddamn, I've run through some lit RPGs lately.
We are trying to pick things that we haven't done before, or all of us haven't read, but to be honest, we are all massive book whores. We have listened to a lot of stuff. So we are eventually going to start branching into some of our favourite series. So one of my next ones, because I think I've got the Christmas shift, haven't I?
Give me a minute, I'll find out for you.
If Seth has October, I've got November, then...
Yes, you do. You get
December's-
Christmas.
I've got Christmas, so I might put you guys towards one of my favourite series and that kind of stuff. So
Is it
that
Christmas
way,
themed?
ooh, no, not really.
Perfect.
Can I
What,
find a
it's-
Christmas?
What, is it not Die Hard the novel?
'Cause
It's
that
Gremlins,
is
the novelization.
the epitome of Christmas movies.
Oh, Gremlins is the greatest of
it's
Christmas movies.
great.
I
love
I
Gremlins.
always thought the Gremlins 2 with Die Hard blended in. Bruce Willis going through the ducks while Gremlins 2 is happening.
That is the crossover I did not know I wanted. Die Hard versus Gremlins.
Fucking oath. And he has to try and get through and destroy all of the Gremlins. Oh,
And things like, he's normally crawling through vents. Now the vents aren't safe. They're full of gremlins.
fucking
Yeah,
oath.
but you know some gremlin's gonna call him up and go,
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Guarantee
guaranteed.
it. Oh. That
Honestly,
would
I just
be
want
all
them to
my
bite the bullet
Christmases
and
come
make-
at once just to listen to that, watch that, read that. I don't give a fuck. If it existed, done.
Why hasn't Gremlins had an update
resurgence.
or a resurgence? Because it's a great series. Like,
Yeah.
Gremlins and Critters, I would really want a new book, or
They
not
made,
book,
what,
but a new
7
movie for.
They made what, 7 Critters movies? 5, 6, 7 Critters movies? Why?
Weirdly enough, it's one of the few horror franchises of that time that didn't go to space.
it did. It was
but
the
they're
4th
things
movie.
from space.
Oh yeah, no, fuck.
But why did Gremlins only get 2 movies? God fucking damn! They didn't even get
Yeah.
their space movie.
Yeah, although, like, now that we have a decent Predator movie, it brings... Because, like, that happened with Prey, people are going back and re-watching the original movies. And if that trend continues, then maybe we might see them start going back to those old horror movies, going, hey, we can modernize Gremlins. Can you imagine Gremlins in modern day? Be
No,
fucked.
No, like a Gremlins in like the ISS set to like an aliens theme. Like, or you never actually see the gremlin until like right at the fucking end after it's fucked shit up.
Oh, that would be fun, actually.
Like an actual like psychological thriller of a fucking gremlin.
No, tell you what, you advertise it as a just generic Bermuda Triangle movie. Like, they've gone into the Bermuda Triangle. It's Gremlins!
Dude,
They
dude.
haven't actually.
That's where they come from!
They've gone over the Bermuda Triangle. That's it.
And picked up a gremlin.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Dude,
Yeah.
there's
What?
like there was another Critters movie in 2019.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, Critters Attack. It came out in 2019.
Ah,
never
how
seen
did we
this
not know
movie.
this?
You know what's dumber though? There was a TV show too.
Fuck off. Like,
Critters the new binge.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to watch this. Like,
I'm gonna have to look up Gremlins now in case there was something I never knew about.
please. I know there was rumors of a TV show for Gremlins in the works, but I think it got shit canned.
I mean, probably, but I'm just like, I just happened to randomly look up Critters, and it's like, oh, there's a whole bunch more. What?
But we may have to do just a was it a riff track for that? I think we're gonna have to watch this new Critters. I mean, might as well record it.
What the?
What?
Gremlins: The Secrets of the Mogwai, 2022.
Oh my god, we're getting a Gremlins movie this year?
Or do we already have a Gremlins movie this year?
Oh.
What's the time scale here, bud?
Hang on, look, man, I'm reading the article. Fuck.
There are 3 massive Gremlins fans here right now who have just been told there is more. It's like, so we got 3 border collies in the same room just running in circles. Like, ah!
Not squirrels, it's gremlins.
Gremlins! Gremlins! We are Gremlins, let's be honest. Like,
Okay, so I'm slightly disappointed
Ah.
because it's an animated show.
I say this as an animator, this still could be okay.
Yeah, no, look, it could be. I don't know. All I'm saying is it's animated, and Gremlins was always a live action thing, so
Yeah.
I'm a little like, it's supposed to be exist as a prequel to the first movie. It's a 10-episode series coming out in 2023.
Damn it!
Apparently, it got announced this year.
Alright, fair, no, that makes sense.
I'd like it if, like, they advertised a movie as being like a rom-com or like something stupid, and then halfway through the Gremlins will start to invade, and they never mention it all the way through. And like, there's a whole series of movies where they advertise it as like one's a rom-com, the next one's a comedy, and then another one's a psychological thriller. Like, they go through all the genre, and just the Gremlins just turn up and fuck shit up just out of nowhere.
We had that in the second movie for Gremlins. They started channel surfing.
Yeah, and like
That.
if they started doing those channels, holy fuck, that'd be great. Like, the world just started being infected by fucking gremlins.
Can you just imagine you get a big director or something and give them half a movie, and then the other half is a comedy writer when the Gremlins start showing up.
Well, Gremlins are owned by Warner Brothers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh
so-
my god.
So the next Superman or Batman movie, the Gremlins come in and just wreck shit.
Yes. Introduce it with Deadpool.
Oh yeah, fuck it. No, well, that's Marvel, so not really. But
Oh, yeah, good point.
the next Suicide Squad, they're halfway through, they're about to fight the big bad, and the Gremlins come in and just eat the motherfucker, and now the Suicide Squad has to fight fucking Gremlins.
Oh,
The next big bad is Gremlins.
Yeah. Not a giant fucking
Like-
starfish, Gremlins.
Yeah. Can we just get a recut of that movie, but it's Gremlins?
Oh, fucking, all it is just a star-shaped tower of gremlins holding each other together.
Ah. Like, I'd be keen. And the weird thing is, Gremlins are appearing in pop culture again. Because they popped up in, what's the DC, like, beat-em-up thing owned by Warner Brothers?
Multiverse thing.
Multiverse,
Actually,
yeah. You could now
that's
play as
another
Stripe.
thing. Velma, they had to re-edit her thing so she didn't call the cops on people.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
I
because
thought that-
they were
look,
using
that
the
was-
cops as a weapon. That's why they changed it, because she was using
The way it
police as
works
a weapon.
is she has this thing where she has a mode where she hits people and she generates clues. Once she has
Okay.
enough clues, she can activate her ultimate, at which point she would summon the police, who would grab the person into the cop car, and then they would jump off the side of the stage.
Velma was swatting people!
Yeah.
No, so the thing that really got people's jimmies up was when they went, okay, so who can you do this to? Well, you know, you can do it to Batman, you can do it to Bugs Bunny, you can do it to LeBron James.
Guy.
Would it have been more racist for him to be immune to it?
But they've since changed it. So you no longer call the cops on someone. Now it's a random white van that they get abducted in.
No, it's the mystery band.
Okay, they
Mystery
fixed
Machine.
it. If it was just a generic white van, that would have been
No,
amazing.
it's the mystery machine that she summons now. So
They may
what's
have
worse,
updated it
cops?
again.
What is it worse? Cops taking people down or random vigilanteism?
They could have just given her an ultimate which is catching them in the generic traps, because they always had like a stupidly overly complicated trap to catch people in, right? And if you give someone in those kinds of beat 'em up games a lock stasis where this person is now tied down so you can just get a bunch of damage onto them, that's still a pretty good ultimate.
What about the classic Scooby-Doo? She walks up and just rips their face off. Like, it was them. Oh shit, this was their face all along.
Oh, that would be amazing. Although I do like anytime.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, we just ripped his face off. But, oh god, the horror.
All right, well, we're at past an hour, so I think we should probably wrap things up for this week.
Speaking of ripping off faces,
well, I'm gonna go die a little and go back to bed. So
that is
all right.
fair.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Have a good one.
See ya.